Hi everybody! So I'm back today with a project for Wild Whisper Designs, and I thought I'd just go ahead and do another spread in my COVID-19 Traveler's Notebook. Everyone gave me such nice comments and such amazing feedback on the initial video that I did on Friday. Figured I'd add one more process into this week's YouTube schedule. So what I have here is a photograph of our local grocery store and the empty shelves. I'm sure that you have also experienced this where you are. I'm going to be using one of the cut files and one of the printables that are free from Wild Whisper Designs. And then this green color I thought matched really well with some of the colors and also some of the sentiments in the Wild Whisper collection called Strength of the Season. So I thought I'd pair those together. I have a little flare from Scrap and Happy Studio that says not today. I did my journaling off camera and I did it, it's right here. And it talks about how hard shopping is right now and how much patience you need. The last time I went shopping, it took hours and I had to go from store to store to store to store to find what we needed. And then at the end, I ended up leaving all of those stores still without certain family essentials. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of document that experience in this 2-page spread, and I will take you along with me. So I'm going to put you on fast forward. I'm going to start with this little toilet paper cut file and this card, and then see where we go. I also grabbed from the Strength of This Season collection these 2 papers. I love this cut apart. I thought it's perfect for the story I'm telling. It's called It Is Okay If Your Strength Looks Different in This Season. So I thought that worked really well. And then I also really just liked this pattern paper, and I thought that one of these, I thought the colors went well, and then I thought maybe one of my pages, not both pages, but maybe I'd back one of the pages with that. So that is my plan. Let me put you on fast forward and we'll get creating. So I'm going to start by backing the cut file that goes with this set from Wild Whisper. It is a toilet paper roll, and I thought I would back it on camera because it is a little bit fiddly. So I'm going to start by gluing the initial part down and then the inside part of the roll. And then what I did to get those little teeny tiny bits, you can see here, is I put the negative part down, I put the glue in the little holes, and then I went ahead and put all those little pieces down in between. It is a little fiddly, but you know what? It makes such an impact. Like, it's totally worth it. It's just one of those, like, cute little details. And I really like how it turned out. And then I'm just going to trim around it, which was super easy to do. This didn't take long at all. One of my easiest fussy cutting projects ever, actually. So we're just going to go ahead and let that dry, and now I'm going to collect together some of the elements I want to put on my Traveler's Notebook spread. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these papers down. So I want this, it's okay, oh, now I forgot what it says. It's okay for your strength to be different in this season. Something like that. If I turn it around, I'll tell you. But it has something to do with how, it's okay if your strength during this season is less than what it usually is. And I think we can all kind of agree that during this season, we are faced with unique challenges that we're not used to, and our strength might be different than what it usually is. That's what I talk about in my journaling as well. So I'm cutting this paper down to 4x8. This is one of the things I really, really like about Rock Your Notebooks, Traveler's Notebooks, is that it's not like 4 and some odd 16th of an inch or 8 and some odd 16th of an inch. You can just cut your paper to 4x8 and it will cover your sheet and you're good. So I'm trying to decide which side of this pattern paper I want to use. Initially I thought I'd use the leaves, but then when I had cut it down I kind of really liked that ombre. And I just want to make sure it's not going to be too busy. I'm kind of moving stuff, deciding where I want different parts of this layout to go. And in the end, I do decide to use the other side, the side with the leaves, which was the side that I initially thought I would use. And I think it turned out much better. There was just too much typography. We needed some more pattern and less words. And so I'm going to go ahead and use it just like that. And see how nice it fits when you just cut it 4x8. And so easy to do with Beth's notebooks. That is one of the cut apart pieces, and I'm going to use this epoxy flare that I found from Scrap and Happy Studio that says not today. Perfect. So I'm kind of auditioning all my pieces here, deciding where I want them to fit in. I'm really quite determined to use all these pieces on my layout because they all had some kind of significance. And I wanted the pieces that I chose to really be there. So my journaling talks about how grocery shopping has become, for me anyway, quite stressful. Because so much of what you want at the store is not available right now, or it wasn't. This was a little bit, so this photo was taken a couple weeks ago, and I think right now most of the stores around here have kind of caught up, but when I went, this was bad. So, and so I just talk about how, shelves are just empty, and that day that I went grocery shopping, it took me something like 4.5 hours. I went to 4 or 5 different stores, and I still came home and didn't have some of the things that my family needed. So I'm just talking about how it is taking a large amount of patience to grocery shop at this time, and that is what my strength is right now. My strength is I'm just being able to be patient with the people, and patient with the lines, and patient with the fact that, on this day, even after going to so many stores, I still did not end up with everything that my family needed. So that's what my journaling is all about. And this was, like I said, I think this was about 2 weeks ago. So this was right when everything was starting to close. And it just so happened that, we usually shop for like 3 to 4 weeks at a time. And it just so happened that day that I needed to go get groceries was just, was after like everyone had gone through and picked over everything. So I went ahead and backed my photo with some orange paper just because I wanted to pull in some orange to that side of the spread, and I also wanted to give it a little bit of separation from the leaves in the background. And now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tuck in, I'm going to like move these all around because I want them, I was being a little fiddly with this. Like I wanted it to be just right. I wanted everything to be kind of like at an angle. I want this traveler's notebook to look like a scrapbook, like an older style scrapbook where things are just collaged all together. And I'm rubbing some glue balls off of my photo. This is why I use Kikoyo tape runners, because I can do that with it if I get it on a picture I don't really want on the picture. And I'm going to go ahead and put that little epoxy flare. So that epoxy flare from Scrap and Happen Studio is an older one. It's not from one of her new sets, but it just works because it just says not today. And that's how it was. At that day, there were more empty shelves than there were full ones. So I'm just going to tuck those leaves in underneath, and then I'm going to work on the other side. So I cut a piece of that leaf paper. It's about 3/4 of an inch, probably about the width of a branding strip, maybe slightly wider, but not too much. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it at that edge, just along the edge of the paper. That's just to make everything kind of cohesive and all of that. You can see the other side, which is the one that we worked on Friday. I'm just trimming up the edge so that my pages are nice and clean. And now I'm going to go ahead and add this little cluster that I put together. So I layered that little title piece, and then I layered in my journaling, and now I'm going to kind of put in my toilet paper roll. And then I'm going to add one more little orange die cut to that cluster at the top just to finish it off. And also because I felt like it said strength of the season like so many times, and I wanted that to be my title, so I kind of decided that I would cover up the piece that's at the top of the journaling. And I'm just going to snip off that end, and we are going to call this one finished. So if you are looking for some of these freebies. I will have links to the freebies on the Wild Whisper blog for these specific freebies. And if you're interested in more of them, you can take a look at my process from Friday that has all the information on where I got all of my supplies to do this coronavirus traveler's notebook. All right, guys, see you all again soon. Bye.